Other than this, they enjoy little significance. No one take this type of group discussion very seriously. It is a kind of passing time. It is a kind of passing remarks. It is a kind of passing observations. No one would take it very seriously. Another interesting aspect of this, there is no one to evaluate. So anyone can comment any damn thing, be it right, be it logical, be it altogether illogical, but it is free for all kind of things. So anyone can share, anyone can enter, anyone can take exit, and there may be or may not be any conclusion. Generally they are not conclusive, they remain inconclusive only, because there are no specific time period. It may start at any given moment, it may change the topic, it may end up at any point. So these are the most unorganized kind of group discussions. So they are called informal group discussions. Friends, when we think of group discussion, we never have in mind the informal group discussions, because there are no specific rules, norms for that. Now let us concentrate on the next slide, and it is formal group discussion. Friends, this is very important feature of our life today, simply because of two reasons. I have given you why group discussions are held. So let us take into consideration that we may be also part of group discussion. We may be subjected to a kind of formal group discussions. Generally, when you pass out your graduation examinations and when you apply for some higher studies, professional courses, then you are subjected to group discussion. Mere your mark sheet merit does not matter. So to test your skills and talents, your intellectual level, there are events called group discussions. So this group discussions means now formal group discussions only. They are a kind of best tool to identify deserving candidates for admission to various courses. For example, you complete your graduation and you apply for MBA, for example, or maybe some higher professional courses. Then it is a part of that admission process that you are subjected to group discussion. So you have to become well equipped for that particular event, which is a process for admission. And next is that selection for job positions. Nowadays, you have got a very cutthroat competition in every field, and when it comes to job market, number of deserving candidates are there and vacancies are fewer. What happens is the organization has to concentrate on a specific kind of things. They concentrate on skilled and talented candidates. So to isolate this type of skilled and able and talented candidates, they organize the event called formal group discussion, in which all the candidates who qualify the minimum norms are invited, and they are to form a kind of group. They are asked to sit a particular place, and they are given a specific topic for a specific time for discussion. And out of these interactions, the selectors have very fine time. It is very easy for them to select and pick up a deserving candidate. So these formal group discussions are generally now in practice in generally two fields. Number one, academic institutions, and number two, job market. So friend, let us be equipped for that. In the next slide, we can also see that why these group discussions are held. I told you that generally we find this type of activity taking place at two different levels. One is the business or job market, and the other is our academic organizations. Group discussions are held to isolate deserving candidates from the group. The candidates who have skills and abilities, as they are expected to work together as a team to achieve goals. So it is not that one has to work in isolation. In a firm, business firm or business house or academic institutions, nowadays they are supposed to work together, maybe on project, maybe on specific mission. In MCA courses or MBA courses, they are expected to work on a project. So they have to work in a group, for example. So they are expected to work together. But if they do not have skills, they do not have the talent, they do not have the in-depth knowledge, then there will be a failure. They cannot achieve their goals. So friends, group discussions are held to isolate this type of candidates who are skilled, who are able, who can work together. Why? They should work together as a team to achieve goals. And all these things are reflected during the group discussions. It is very easy for the evaluators to isolate this type of things. When we think of team, it is always important to note that a team is always for a kind of achieving goals. So if you go for a team and there are some difference of opinion, then it cannot achieve goals. So when you are supposed to work in a team, friends, you have always one mission, and that is to achieve goals. Maybe there may be variety of opinions, friends, but still the ultimate goal is same. You have to succeed. So in a group, when you come together, you have to see how you can accommodate yourself among so many other participants, which is more important. If you have that type of temperament, then only you can succeed when you are working not as an individual but also in a group. So friends, it is a kind of group activity which isolates the person with some talent, some skills, which are very helpful in an organization, business or academic. Friends, let us go to the next slide, and you will find again the same point is repeated in a way for to highlight the other topic. So when we think of group, maybe in business firm, maybe in academic field, there are some basic skills which are required, which are imperative, friends, without which you cannot proceed. And this is not only during our academic years or business tenure. At home and in any other given field, these skills are these are in a way virtues which are necessary if you want to achieve your goals. That is cooperation, consideration and patience. They are inevitable because you work not in isolation, you have to work in groups. There are so many people with you. You will have to work with them, you will have to work under them, or you have to lead them. So these are the three different categories when you have to work in a group. So cooperation is required. You know the skills and talents of each of the friends, each of the members in the group. So you have to have that patience to tolerate them if someone is weak. You have to cooperate with others. If one is lagging behind, you have to help him. That is cooperation. And consideration is also important. You have to think of as a human being. If someone is facing some problem, you have to consider it, his aspect, and you have to help him. So these three basic skills, cooperation, consideration, patience, they are inevitable virtues. And then only if the candidate is having this type of three virtues, I repeat, cooperation, consideration, patience, then only there are always chances of achieving goals very successfully. This type of activity, that is formal group discussions, help isolate such skilled candidates. There are always some evaluators who observe all the participants and they can isolate. It is very easy for them to isolate the candidates with this type of virtues, which are, I repeat, cooperation, consideration and patience. Friends, let us go to the next slide. Again, it highlights why group discussions are held. I may remind you, friends, many of you will be subjected to this type of group discussions. So let us well equip ourselves when you pass out your graduation and you will be subjected for admission to the higher courses or maybe job. So during those circumstances, you have to keep in mind the significance of group discussions and which are the virtues which the organizations expect from you. Now, there are some evaluators who select the deserving candidates on the basis of this following virtues. Let us read to it. Read to the slide and you will find ability to lead and work in group. Very often what happens, there are two extreme friends generally. One is a very deserving candidate who is knowing everything, and the other extreme is there are some very mediocre or below average kind of candidates who are not well versed in the field, but still they want to apply, they want to join that particular group, maybe they want to seek admission. So in a group also there are a number of students who may belong to different angles, different extremes. But here it is very imperative that each of the participants must have the ability to lead, number one, and number two, work in group. If one is having extreme knowledge, he is extremely knowledgeable, he must not show it out that yes, I know everything, that particular fellow does not know anything. This is not the way when you are expected to work in a group. So you have to lead them very comfortably in a friendly manner, and you have to work together in the group without showing your ego, without showing the weaknesses of the other candidates. So when you are in group and you discuss, even if you are more knowledgeable than most others, you must not show your ego. And if you talk about the topic in this manner without showing your ego, there are evaluators who would recognize your skills and talent. Irrespective of your declaring that I know everything, the evaluators are very clever enough to isolate you that yes, you know everything, but still you remain far away from your ego and you do not insult others, you do not show off your knowledge. That is very important. So these are the skills which are expected when you have to work in a group. Next is positive attitude and confidence. Even any given circumstances, if you feel, friends, that there are very problematic things, you have to face them with courage. You must not lose your patience. So you have to move with the positive attitude. Yes, we can do and we will achieve our goals irrespective of any other hurdles. And that also demands your confidence. Even if all the circumstances are against you, you have to come out with full confidence, even if you are aware that it may lead us to nowhere, but you must proceed with confidence, and you have to instill confidence in your other members of the group also, which is expected, and this is very much reflected during a group discussion. So friends, what happens is, if someone is very weak in a group, you may just show your consideration for him, and this may lead him to move further. It is very important, and you may instill confidence in others also when you are the leader of the team. And this is very important when you reflect your personality and skills of positive attitude and confidence. There are some evaluators who just recognize your ability and confidence. So it is very helpful for the evaluator to isolate you. Next is ability to effectively communicate. You know everything, but if you are a failure to express, then it is of no use. Friends, let us remember to Swami Vivekananda, almost 100 years back, more than that even. He was there in Chicago and he addressed a world gathering of World Religion Parliament. He was not aware what was happening over there, but he was very confident. He was an effective communicator. So within 5 minutes, he won over the whole world, in a way, Western world. Why? Because he was very effective in his communication. He could articulate in a very short span, very few words, what he wanted to, and he won over the hearts of millions of people. So effective communication is very important aspect during group discussion. If you know so many things, but if you cannot communicate, no one could find what you have. So it is very imperative, friends, that you communicate effectively. It is very important aspect, and this is one of the virtues, and evaluator also takes into account who has got this communication skills. Friends, when we read our topics of business communication or commercial communication, this is very important, and you know the significance of communication. You have to send a message, and message must be received in a proper way, the way you wanted to it to be received. So this is very important to be a very effective communicator. This is a skill on the basis of which the evaluator tests you, and he may isolate the candidates who is having this kind of skill. And next is ability to remain calm even in the stress. For example, during group discussion, there is argument from your side, but there is some other member who may have counter argument. He may just deny, he may just reject outrightly your argument. In such cases, what happens is I may lose my temper. But because we are working in a group, we must take care that we must not lose our patience. Though we are aware, though I am aware that the friend who is arguing against me is totally wrong, I may prove my case in a very patient manner. Instead of blaming him, blaming others, what I can do is, or I should do is, I should try to prove my argument in a most comfortable way, in a most patient way, so that it is accepted by all. Mere shouting or mere raising your voice to a louder pitch, it does not serve any purpose. So friends, it is very important, and when you fail to do this, you fail in the group discussion. It is very important to remain calm, not only during the group discussion, in our normal life also. Friends, it is very imperative. One more important thing, friends, is that if you know everything, if you are well aware of the topic, you will never lose your temper. It means that the one who loses temper, one who shouts, the one who raises his voice loud, generally he knows little. So friends, even if you during these moments keep silence or speak in most normal way, your voice will be heard. The person who shouts, he is never taken very seriously. So friends, always remain calm and cool, have patience, just listen to the other arguments which are being made at a very high pitch sound, answer him very patient way, and your voice will be certainly heard. These are, friends, some topics, some virtues which are expected when you go for a group discussion. Now let us think of some more points. Methodology of group discussion. Friends, it is on the part of the organizers. They have to look at this type of things. But even if when you are expected to arrange a group discussion for your class, and where you